we're talking about a development that started 10 years ago. Between 2000 and 2003, about 600 people paid more than 50 million ringgit for their plots of bungalow land. But here we are in 2010, and they have neither the land nor their title nor anything else.
By the time this story is published in Malaysia Kini, the outcome of the Hulu Selangor by-election would have been known. The winners would be celebrating, and the vanquished would have gone away to lick their wounds and to dread for the next battle. Even though the representation in Parliament for the Hulu Selangor parliamentary seat will be known, the future or the purchases of the Genting Valley Resort is not so certain. Some 10 years ago, about 500 people had bought properties here in this Genting Valley development. And they were supposed to have gotten their property, their plots of land and some apartments in around 2005 or 2007. But today, there is nothing. 10 years later, there is nothing here except for some structures that is left uncompleted. The rest of the valley seems to be turned into secondary jungle. You have some terraces that have been cut, presumably for bungalow lots. But again, nothing has come out of it. So these people have spent maybe 200,000 ringgit of their hard-earned savings. Some have bought this in cash to the developer who's now gone into liquidation. And after seeing ministries and government agencies and the state government of Selangor to try and sort out this terrible debacle that they face, the future is still uncertain as to how this issue can be resolved. The liquidators have sold part of the property, about 500 acres, to another developer, but the terms of that sale is unknown to the Pro Tem committee for the Residents Association here. The Pro Tem chairman of the committee, Mr. Bob Steedman, came to us to tell us the woes of the 400 to 500 people who have bought properties here in the Genting Valley Resort.
Well, I'm a purchaser. I bought a plot in the first phase of this development, but in 2003. And the idea was that I would retire in 2006 and live on my plot, but that hasn't happened. And in 2005, a few of us from phase 1, only 12 of us got together to form the Genting Valley Purchasers Group, and I was elected as the chairman of the Pro Tem committee. And here we are now in 2010 with more than 400 members from all the phases of the group, and between them we own about 450 of the 600 or so plots.
I'm a buyer. I'm also secretary of the group, and I'm also Bob's wife. The two of us have been doing a lot of research on this, and we've been putting the group together and organizing ourselves. It's been quite an uphill task, having to deal with authorities and also to try and get information on this abandoned scheme. And it seems like we're still far from our goal for the whole group.
Well, the developer left the site in 2004 with most of the work uncompleted, and we have heard nothing from the developer since that time. The company was put into liquidation in 2007, and we have been in touch with the liquidator and with the bridging financier on many occasions since that time. As a group, we have little or had little experience of how to tackle an abandoned housing scheme, and so our first port of call was to the House Buyers Association, and they are still working with us to try to resolve the issues. Many of the purchasers paid 100% for their plots, and even more paid 80%. but nobody has anything to show for their money so far. We've worked also quite closely with both the federal authorities and the state government authorities. The state government, through the Estates Land Board and the Lembaga Perumahan Hartanah, have been very supportive and helpful. But we still are no nearer now to getting our title to the plots. No, it's bungalow lots only, spread over about 240 acres. So it's a very pleasant development with rolling hills and the Genting Highlands in the background. Several of our members have filed police reports, but that is on the basis that they paid the developer a certain amount of money, and some of that money should have been paid to the bridging financier, but the bridging financier did not receive that money. And that's a serious issue, because if it's correct, the bridging financier has the capacity to ignore those purchases and sell those plots if it wishes to do so. It hasn't done so far, but the fact that the developer took the money and walked away with it and didn't give the portion to the bank is what the police report is about, and the police are now investigating.
I'm afraid that, since this matter arose, we've also been doing, if you go to Hulu Selangor, you'll see all these abandoned projects, and they are not basically house plots. They are also commercial lots, and they're also houses which haven't been completed because the developers have gone off. It seems that we are in the same situation as them. When we look at the brochures that we were given by the developer, we look at their company profile, the company is there, the land is in their name. So we've done all that we can in terms of ensuring that we're actually buying something that's legitimate. We have relied on the fact that Hong Leong Bank has given a loan to this developer. So to us as purchasers, we see that we've done all the checks we can, and we see that it's exactly legitimate, and we go ahead and buy these plots, not knowing that behind the scenes there's something else that's happening.
In some cases, the banks have gone after them, and that has resulted in some of these plots appearing at auction, where the purchaser was either unable or unwilling to pay. The number of people who took a bank loan is in the minority, but one of the banks has more than 130 borrowers on this scheme alone, and they have allowed some of the purchasers some latitude in the repayment process, so that either the monthly instalment has been reduced and the period of payment lengthened, or something of that kind. So the lending banks on the whole have been quite sympathetic to the purchasers, in most cases, not all.